Hello and welcome back to the Taylah Louise Budgets channel. You are here with me today to look at my June budget. So it's kind of a budget with me, but it's also just letting you know how things change and how priorities change my budget. So let's have a look at my little budget revamp, my plan for the second half of 2022. Let's go.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier when the morning comes and we see what we've become.
So what you can see here is 3 paycheck budget sheets. This is for 1 paycheck. This is what happens when you need to draft your paycheck, draft your budget, draft your salary to make sure that you get it right. Make your budget work for you. If you have to do it multiple times, you have to do it multiple times until you get it right. This is for my first salary paycheck in June. Some things are changing and therefore I need to change the things. My first draft that I did, I was including some Etsy paycheck and a Kmart refund as well as my usual salary. Now within this, I was planning to put my usual $800 towards Target bills and then do the same amount for my variable expenses, sinking funds, savings and challenges that I normally do and that I have been doing around about for the rest of the year so far. However, some things changed. I looked at this budget and I went, oh, hang on, we are moving house next week. Therefore, this needs to change. And if this needs to change, then all of this needs to change. So I have decided to rejig it with you today. So if I move this off to the side, what we'll see is that. Now let's hope you stay with me here. Originally, 2022 plan, my original plan for the year involved having my bills, like my Target bill challenge, getting $800 a fortnight. This is all a fortnight or bi-week. This is for 2 weeks. Then I planned on having my variable expenses, so my wallet, being $500. This was the base budget I worked with. I was working with a $2,123 salary. So that would be what I would get paid, and this is how I would budget that out. Then I planned for my savings. So I separate my savings, my sinking funds, and my challenges just to make it clearer to me. So when I say savings, I mean my priorities, like the main things that I needed to focus on, my non-negotiables. So my non-negotiable savings was $400. Now this was $300 towards my IOG fund, and then $100 towards my other things like home, car, annual, etc. Then we have my sinking funds. So sinking funds they're the ones that are good to have, good to prepare for all of these things because they're extra spendings. And the more that you have partitioned away, the easier it is to go about your life and your day and your week, knowing that you've got that money and you're prepped and you're planned and it's good to go. So sinking funds, I had $250 a fortnight budgeted towards all of those. Now you'll see those that are the highlighted ones in like a bluey green color there. Then we had my challenges. So challenges is obviously really fun. Love doing those, and I was budgeting about $150 for those. Oftentimes what I would do is I'd put less in my sinking fund so I could put more in my challenges because I was really prioritizing my envelope challenge, trying to get that smashed out. And because of that, I was allowing myself less money in my sinking funds to put more in challenges, which is okay, but this was just still going with the plan. Then we have my cushion, which always gets like that $23, and sometimes that's emergency. So kind of like cushion or emergency, whichever I felt needed it. And that would take us up to that $21.23 total. Now that's the plan. That's what has been working for me. But as life changes, things need to change. And so like I said, I need to change my bill fund because we are moving. And because we're moving, I was in a really good situation where I wasn't paying much money in rent, and now I'm going to be paying more. And with extra rent comes extra utility bills and other expenses that I just needed to prioritize more money for that. So where is that extra money going to come from? What categories? Let's rework the whole thing together. And so that's what I kind of did is I had done my draft. I was like, yep, good to go. This is where I'm going to put everything. This is what I'm going to do with everything. Awesome, sweet, whatever. Okay, life changes. Let's rejig that. And so because we decided to rejig that, I'm going to keep note of my Etsy and Kmart, and I'm just going to leave that off to the side for a moment. And I'm going to wait until I have the opportunity to do a side hustle stuffing because it does not need to be any more confusing than it already is. So goodbye, draft 1. And enter draft 2. So draft 2, we're looking at my salary, which is the same, and I'm only going to consider that one income just to make things clear. This is my first time using the new budget, so I don't want to confuse it. Now my Target bills is at $1,100 a fortnight. Whew, yikes. Yep, a moment's silence for my budget. Let's have a look at my budget revamp. So if I rejig that and I look at that and I go, okay, bills is now $1,100. That's an extra $300. Why is that, you might ask? So we've got my original target of $800. Then we have my additional rent or roof, as I call it, as an additional $200 a fortnight. And then we're going to have extra utility bills. So I'm considering, and I want to make sure that that's ready to go. So my extra bills is at $100. Oh, you can barely see that there. So I've got my target, my roof, and my extra bills there. So that's my extra $300 that's going towards bills every fortnight. Like I said, that money needs to come from somewhere. So what can I do? So my variable, I've been finding that lately, I don't kind of need as much variable money as I've been giving myself. It does mean that I don't have as much rollover, but it is what it is, right? So I can definitely pull that down to $450. So I can take $50 straight from that one there. So if we actually do a comparison, a side by side. So bills has gone up $300 and variable has gone down $50. What do we have next? So next is my priority savings. So as part of conversations that were had with my partner about this move and our decision to do this, you would know that I have put on pause one of my major savings priorities, which is my IOG fund, the money that I owe him. Because our life circumstances have changed, our living situation has changed, that has been put on pause. So that's $300 that I don't need, don't have to, are no longer non-negotiable to transfer there. However, savings is still important to me. I still have priorities. These things here, we've got travel, annual, debt, car, house, and IOG. They are the things that I consider to be these priority savings at the moment. You can kind of see that travel is just a sinking fund. However, I have bumped it up into the priority category because we have decided to go to New Zealand in January and that needs to happen. So I need to make sure that I'm putting money there. And the way that I can make sure I'm putting money to that is by making it a priority. So this is where we understand that needs, wants, and priorities are all different things, right? Do I need to travel? No. Do I want to travel? Yeah. So should it be a priority? Not necessarily. But we are deciding, my life has made me decide to make it a priority, and therefore it's going in there. If stuff happens and then we can't go, well, we can't go, okay? But I'm going to prioritize putting money into this fund before all of these other funds. Now, instead of $400, we're going to have to cut that down. That's just, it is how it is. Annual bills, obviously I'll have to still put money towards that. Debt, I'm just going to have to slow that down. Car is sitting in a really good place. House, well, that's going to take a big hit with the move, but it will need to slowly rebuild. And IOG, while I put it on pause and I'm not putting $300 a fortnight there anymore, I still want to be putting a little tiny bit to continue to see that grow. So we are making this $200 now. So we're halving it. It was $400 and now it's going to be $200. That's going to save us a lot, and a lot of that money is going to be redirected towards bills. It is what it is. Life be lifing. Okay, sinking funds. So my other sinking funds are less priorities, often just really spendings. So that's going to take a big hit. It was at $250 and now we're going to make it $150. So we're going to cut $100 out. I haven't really been stuffing $250 in it anyway. As I said, I've been putting more into challenges. So we're going to make that one $150 now, the sinking funds. When I look at them, a lot of them are just spending money. Tato, budgeting, apparel, that's just me buying stuff. Gamble, beautify, Taylah Louise, tattoo, that's all me just treating myself, right? Then we have tech. So yeah, okay, it's good to prepare to buy a new phone. Health is important, but I have an emergency fund. So how much is in health isn't too magnificent, doesn't matter too much. Future and invest, that's just like a little thing that I do. Preparing to buy people gifts and having events and stuff. None of this is a major priority. Yes, it's adulting, but it's not a major priority. All of those major priorities are in the savings fund. So yeah, $150 a fortnight there. Then we have challenges. So challenges is actually getting a bump up because I've realized that a lot of my challenges are priorities for me. A lot of them are saving for things that will end up being probably purple. When I finish these challenges, they probably will end up being transferred into accounts that are priorities for me. So I'm gonna do 200 now. So I have enough to actually bump it up a little bit because I've taken sinking funds down so much. It's getting a little bit of a rise there. So if we look at that, then we should be able to make cushion or emergency fund 23. Cushion is until I finish my recent cushion challenge. And then after that, I will likely be transferring that money into emergency fund just to continue growing that there. But now, if I add this up, I believe it should come to the same total. 1,100, 450, 200, 150, 200, and 23. 21, 23. So it's still coming to that 21, 23 total that my original budget came to, but we have changed our priorities. We have made sure that money is going where it needs to go. Bills first, savings, obviously putting fuel in the car is important, and all of those sorts of things are all sorted and worked out. So the same money, but very different budget. And sometimes it's important to look at that money and look at how we're currently prioritizing it and looking at where do we want to go, what is important to us. And I might actually even write down here what these saving goals are. So they are travel, annual debt, car, house, and IOG. These are the things that matter most to me. So now that we have our budget revamp underway, we now need to look at what are we actually going to do in this budget. So that was our draft number 2. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes you do need a third budget check. So it might end up the same as this, but I'm just going to make sure that everything is how I need it to be and how I want it to be. So my first paycheck in June, I get a salary of $21.23, and that's all the income we're considering today. Target bills, if I look at this, I know that that's going to be $1,100. Cushion is going to be $23. So if I keep a running tally, $21.23 minus 1. So we've got $1,000 left. I now know that this section here, my variables, are going to be $450 total. I like to put 50 in Tay. Usually I put 150 in each of these, but let's just see if I go 150 in dining and if I go 100 in groceries, what does that look like? If I go 80 in fuel, because it's been costing about that much to fill up my tank. I need to get my hair done. I do know that. What am I gonna do? Maybe I'll go 50 in beauty. So if I go, okay, so I know I had 450 for this category. So minus 50, minus 100, minus 150, minus 80, minus 50. So I have 20 left. And so we might just chuck that extra 20 in miscellaneous because I don't know what will need it. So nothing for fitness and nothing for household. So then I'm gonna know that if I add them back up, 50, 100, or 50, perfect. 100 plus 23 plus 450 is 1573. 2123 minus 1573. So I've got 550 left. And that 550 left is going to be for my savings, my sinking funds, and my challenges. Color coding can leave no one confused. We have $200 for these savings goals. What we're going to do is I'm going to go 100 to travel, because again, priority at the moment, and then annual debt, car, house, IOG. There's 5 of them and there's 100 left. So we're just going to go 20 in each. Now I know that I've taken 200 there. So then we have 150 for sinking funds and 200 for challenges. I've actually already stuffed these challenges, so I'm just going to fill those out. I put 120 in envelope. If you missed the video, make sure that you go check it out. It's the double challenge stuffing. It was my May and June budget in one video, and it should have gone live already. 40 for 26 weeks, 10 for YouTube, 30 for seasonal, and nothing for rollover. So 120, 40, 10, and 30 is 200. Now we just have the 150 remaining for sinking funds. So this is the thing that can change because it depends on my priorities. 150 is what I've got to work with. We're gonna go nothing in Tato. I'm gonna go 20 in budgeting because I do want to purchase more of Caracash's things, placeholders. I need a few more challenge envelopes that I might get from Cash Queens Australia. So yes, I want to stuff this one. Apparel is gonna get 40. Now, because of travel, there are some things that I need to buy for the cold weather in New Zealand, as well as I believe Whitney Simmons is having a new Gymshark launch next week, and I will be purchasing some of that because I missed out last time. So there's that. So I'm going to put $40 in there, which means that I'm going to sacrifice and gamble. Beautify and Taylah Louise will get nothing. Tattoo will just get 5. Tech will get its usual 20, and then Health, Future, and Invest will all just get 5. I like to put a little bit in when I can. Same with Boo and Bernie, they can just get 5. Gifts can get 5. Christmas can get 10. Events can get 10. I need to start stuffing this one more because there's some things upcoming there. And giving always gets 5. So will that work out to be perfect? So minus 20, minus 40, minus 5, minus 20, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 10, minus 10, minus 5. Have I miscounted? Let's count up this time. 20 plus 40 plus 5, 10, 15, 20, plus 20, 20 plus 20. Yeah, I'm 10 short. So maybe apparel will get 50. And I'm gonna triple check that now. So 20 plus 50 plus 5 plus 20 plus 5, 10, 15 plus 5, 10, 15 plus 10, 20 plus 5. Okay, 150. So I am right with that. So sinking funds is 150. And then down here we'll go save is 200. And that should be all. So if I add up all my totals, we've got 1, 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 1, 2, 3 plus 450 plus 150 plus 200 plus 200, 21, 23, which means that I have a zero-based budget. Woohoo, I've done it. This is what I will stuff in my next cash stuffing. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing how I took my previous budget and how I reworked it to my new circumstances. And I hope this pays off. I don't know yet or currently how much this move is going to cost me. So part of me didn't want to commit to doing this video. I actually kind of wanted to wait, to not spend, to not give money to these categories and wait and see how much it cost me and try and cash flow it. But cash flowing is not how I want to live my life. There is a reason that I have sinking funds. I have a house and a home fund. I have enough money in there to cover my bond, to cover my rent, to cover my moving expenses. So why would I not stuff all of these this fortnight just to cash flow something that I already have the cash for, put aside, waiting for the day that it's needed? It is so hard to pull out of your sinking funds, especially when they have been your priorities and you have been making them the top of your list. But it's so important to trust the process. I know that no matter how much money I spend out of that house fund in the next 2 weeks while moving, that I will be able to replenish it over time. That I will be able to next paycheck go, you know what, I'm gonna chuck $100 into house because I have a budget that works for me. I have $200 every fortnight going towards priority savings and I can make that my priority. When I finish some of these challenges, I could finish the envelope challenge and chuck it all back into house if I wanted to. I have the power. You have the power over your budget. So make it work for you. Okay, I'm gonna finish my rant, get off my high horse and go stuff these sinking funds. So I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, go down below and click like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified every single time I upload a brand new video, and I'll see you really, really soon. Bye guys.